Yeah, first and foremost, just give Michigan State a lot of credit. We knew this was going to be a very physical football game. They're very tough, very well coached. That front seven is as physical as we've seen. I got a lot of respect for him. Got a chance to talk with Coach D'Antonio before the game and Coach Izzo, and I actually thought right before the game that was some, I don't know, I thought they were going to wish me off the field or something, like I did something wrong. They're really special people to this place, and you can tell how they run their administration and how they run with their former coaches and what they do. It truly is a connection and a family, and I've got a lot of respect for that, especially coaching in this state for as long as we did. But I got to give our players a ton of credit. They played incredibly hard tonight. We talked about total consistency across the board, and really total consistency by executing the game plan. I didn't say perfect, just consistent, and that's what we're going to have to continue to be. We challenge a lot of guys to be able to step up, and not just step up because you're up. You've earned the opportunity. We've gotten to a point at times now where, we got really good players sitting behind really good players, but that's how you build a culture in a program of sustainability. And, but now they have their opportunity. It's unfortunate we don't have Crab out there, but those guys really, took that to heart, distributed it to multiple receivers where they were able to make huge plays, showed what they could do. Just so proud of our defense, swarming to the football, creating takeaways at really crucial times. And you saw playing for each other. We always talk about there's a difference between a group and a team. Within our culture, we always talk about there's a difference. And, there's been times I've been a part of groups, but this is a team. And that's what I love about these guys. They truly are connected. They love each other. They put each other first. They're selfless. They don't care who gets the credit. Tuesday's practice, I think I told you, Andy, I said at some point, we got to the end of Tuesday's practice and there was still a team period. I had to back off. We actually made it half speed because I couldn't believe how hard they were still going on Tuesday of the fifth week of the season. And they just love playing the game. You got to give Michigan State a lot of credit. This win means a lot to us because we're 1-0 in the Michigan State season, period. But there's a lot of connections to Michigan State, a lot of people in our locker room, a lot of people who have paid tuition, a lot of people who have worked here before. This is where actually, my first head coaching game was, and Coach Shiraka's first calling plays at Western Michigan, our culture together, and Coach Callahan and Danny Collins and guys like that. So, I know we're in the same conference, but this place, still, longer you go, there's a lot of places that mean a lot to you, and special places, and this is one of them. So, just want to say thanks to Mark Coyle and his wife Kristen. It's Kristen's birthday today, and I know they've overcome a lot in the last year, and I'm just so proud to work for somebody like him and our president Joan Gable, and happy birthday coming up to Heather this week, which we're all excited about because we don't get to do anything because it's football season. So we'll figure it out down the road. She's been doing that for years, but I got to take my hat off to our players. They just played incredibly hard. I couldn't be more proud of them right now in this moment. And we'll learn from it. We'll gain experience. And then we'll change our best and move on. We'll open up for questions.
Andy, go ahead. PJ, I think you had 10 or so receivers, pass catchers today. What did you feel like was working and influential there as you go without Crab to the start?
Well, I think, first of all, I think you've seen us, we've had the ability to have really two standout wideouts, over the years. And then you game plan towards those two first-rounder, fourth-rounder. I mean, guys that are dudes. Guys who won Super Bowl, guys who've been a first-round draft pick. So you'd be an idiot not to game plan around that. But what I think you see on this particular football team, I'm not sure how many first-rounders we're going to have, but what I can see is that we can run an offense, go through progressions with an option, RPO game, spread people out, go in different personnel groupings, put people in different spots, highlight their strengths, eliminate their weaknesses, allow Tanner to go through true progressions, see the whole field, and not have a defense focus on one thing. I think that's what you're seeing. That's what efficient offenses do. Now, while I say we're an efficient offense, we were good enough for today, and that's all that matters. We're going to get better, and there's a lot to get better from. We can't put the ball on the ground. We got to be able to finish a drive and not have a penalty. And we've got to be able to stop people at the end no matter who's in the game. So, but again, I think it's just the balance of the offense. Whether you've got, again, balance is the way, how I think about balance. Whatever you have to do to win the game, but you'd love to have a mixture if you can. And I thought tonight we had a really good balance.
Remember to raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. Randy Johnson, far side, go ahead. PJ, you had a 77-yard drive, a 75-yarder, and a 90. Do you feel you just wore them down from the get-go tonight?
I think they're a really hard unit to wear out. I just think that, we converted some third downs that were huge for us. I thought we did a really good job of taking what the defense gave us and then putting our players in the most advantageous positions to be themselves. I got a lot of respect for Michigan State. I'll never say that because I don't know. I don't know what a normal day looks like for them, but I just know that they're very good. They're very strong. They're long. They're big. Incredibly physical group. Again, just got a ton of respect for the program.
PJ, you talked about stressing takeaways. You got a couple today. What did you feel like was key in getting those?
Well, I think, first of all, takeaways happen when you swarm to the ball. Really good things happen if everybody's around the ball. We practice that. You've seen that in practice with tempo periods, TTO periods, swarm periods. And it sounds corny, and it looks corny when we're following the ball with our hand and swarming around the coaches. But that's why you do it. You can swarm around the football. Good things are going to happen. Not only that, if you get tip passes, and everybody knows that the ball's the program. So if I'm a D lineman, I might not touch the ball an awful lot, but I can touch it when I sack somebody, and I can get a tip, and then it creates something in the air. And Danny Strigow did a great job of that. We practice catching the ball with every single one of our players. We do ball drills with every one of our players. O-lineman, D-lineman, doesn't matter. Ball's a program. And I thought everybody says they want more takeaways. I don't think there's a coach in America. That's not a genius quote, right? But when you go out there and apply it, because you still got to catch the ones they throw you. You still got to swarm to the ball. You still got to pop the ball out, just like they did with Mo. I mean, the guy who knocks it out is the guy you never see. And we had a few of those, and we were lucky enough to have a few of those tonight.
Hey, PJ, you mentioned how well you guys converted your game plan. I guess I didn't know, when you come in here leading the league in rushing yards per game, but you're almost 50-50 kind of run pass yards. How close was that to what you were wanting to do?
Well, that's as balanced as probably we've been in a little while. I mean, I'm not sure. Rushes, well, there are 48 rushes and 26 passes, so we're still a little rush heavy there. But I think when you get to, we possessed the time 42-30, 42 minutes, 30 seconds, and they had 17-30. We knew we needed to do that to win the football game. And what you saw of that is a lot of those rushes are in the second half. I think we were way more balanced in the first half. When you have a lead like that, you get a stop, you get a takeaway, you go down and score. Now you're up basically, 3 touchdowns with 3 two-point conversions. You can now get into what you want to do with that milk mode, and again, not taking the foot off the gas. It's just understanding clock management and time and what kind of team we have and what we need to be able to do. And there's times we can't do that. We got to hurry it up. I mean, you watch last week, we go into a 2-minute drill and score 14 points in a minute and a half because we had to and we could. So I think that, the first half's a little bit more what you really want to be. 26 total passes and 48 total runs. But again, probably 20 of those is a little heavy. So I probably look at like 26, 28. It's probably right around there.
PJ, to improve to 4-0, to come to Michigan State and to win in the convincing fashion that you did, do you anticipate having to deal with more quote-unquote outside noise this week?
Well, you guys have had outside noise from the start, and that's your job, and you do a really good job of it, and I love you for it. It gives me something to be able to talk to our team about. Because I do listen to what you say, I do hear what you say, I do hear what you read, or hear what you write. I meet with you all the time. See you guys in my office, once a week. See you, I see you. And they're going to hear it. I know that. I'm not dumb. But we need the internal message to be way louder than the external message because everything from the external's non-controllable. It's all what ifs. It's all circumstantial and subjective. Everybody can have their opinion. What we need to do is make sure we have facts inside our walls. Who are we? What do we do? How are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? Why are we going to do it? And where are we going to do it at? And that's the process. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. We have an answer to that. And they just got to keep doing that. Nothing's ever promised. This is good enough to be 1-0. That was it. Period. It's nothing more, nothing less within inside our walls. It's good enough to be 1-0 in the Michigan State season, period. Now, we'll enjoy this on the way home. I'm sure we'll watch film as coaches, and then we're perpetually disappointed. By the time we land, Heather will be like, what's wrong? And we'll be 0-0.
PJ Tanner was 23 of 26. He was efficient in the passing, but his rushing today, have you seen him really grow in that area this year?
Well, I just think he's playing at a really high level where he's, I mean, like I told you before, we watched that clip on Jerry Rice, how Jerry Rice never mastered the position. You can come close to being a master. Black belts can always get better. They're not just a black belt and then you're the best. You have to keep going, right, to keep that. That's what Tanner's doing. I'm not saying he's a black belt football player. But I love that Tanner just continues to thrive and continues to find ways to make his game better. And he understands defenses more than he ever has. Kirk's done a great job with him. Joe Rossi's done a great job sitting down with Tanner Morgan, teaching even Tanner about defensive football. And so he knows when he needed possibility of pulling it down and running. That's a smart football player. Smarter players are usually better players because on those 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9s, when he's under duress, he can find a way to still get 9 yards or 10 yards even on his own, and he was able to do that tonight. And, we were 10 of 12 on 3rd down. I think that's the story of the game. At the end of I can go through all the stats, right? But when they were 2 of 8 and punted, did we punt? I mean, we didn't punt, and we were 10 of 12 on 3rd down. And we had the ball for, 2/3 of the game, more than that. So, I mean, that's what we would like to have.
Yep. PJ, I mean, you've given Michigan State a lot of credit during this whole press conference, but the facts are you came 17 seconds away from winning 34-0. So I guess, are you at all surprised just by kind of how lopsided this ended up being today for you guys?
Nothing surprises me anymore in college football. Nope. I know what type of team we have. They're 17 to 28-year-olds. You got to be careful because we have a lot of older guys now. But nothing surprises me when you're working with young people. On either side. I've been on the other side of that too. And I think that's where, in 2020, I said, I want to find a way to be the most empathetic head coach in America. I was truly going to change who I was. And not to say I was bad before, but I really needed to really look inside even myself, like everybody did in 2020, of how I can find a way to do that. And, I have a lot of respect for what student athletes do every day. Our female student athletes, our male student athletes. So nothing surprises me. Now, you get a result, okay? And that result was in our favor tonight. And now what we need to do is respond to that result. Because everybody's going to create speculation around us. Everybody's going to create noise around us, just like they did last week, just like they're going to do with Michigan State, whatever it is. And we need to come back in and create a new expectation. That's built on our culture, but a new expectation with a new opponent next week. And that's what we'll do. And we'll just keep holding our players to a high standard academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually. And again, spiritually not meaning religion, just believing in each other and being the best you can be. And we'll keep doing that because that's how we run our culture and program. That's how we recruit to our program. That's how we develop in our program. And that's how we'll keep doing that in our program. All right, thank you, Coach. You got it. Row the boat, Sky Mile, go Gophers. Thanks, everybody, for making the trip.
For student athletes, will Tanner Morgan, Daniel Jackson, Mariano Short, and there.
Tanner, his first game without Crab, spread the ball around to a lot of people. What was kind of key in the game plan to spread it around to so many guys like you did?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for a long time now, is we have a lot of guys that can go make plays for us. And I think, we saw that today. A lot of guys that were involved in the game plan and made plays. And it makes my job really easy. Like I said, in media on Tuesdays, I just execute the play that's called. And whoever's open, that's where I throw them the ball, whether it's a tight end, a receiver, a running back on a check down on the flat. That's all there is to it. So I just got to execute what play is called. And Coach Rock has done a fantastic job of getting us in great situations.
I just want to follow up on that. PJ was talking about kind of working through progressions and kind of feeling like that's been better here this year. How would you feel?
Yeah, way better. When you know what you're looking for and you're confident in kind of the play that's called, good looks for it, bad looks for it, spatial awareness, it allows you to move through the progression faster and know when to maybe hold on a progression a little bit longer. So I felt really good at that, but there's definitely, I need to continue to improve on it. But I definitely feel confident in every play that's been called and going through my progressions.
Tanner, the first 2 drives, 77 yards for a touchdown, 75. Did you feel the offense was basically operating as good as it has the whole year?
Yeah, I think we were operating fantastic today. We were executing. We were stopping ourselves a lot, though. Definitely got to fix that. Too many penalties. So we got to clean that up. But again, we just got to continue to get better. But I was really proud of how hard our guys played and how they went out there and executed.
We're also joined by Daniel Jackson, closest to me.
Justin, I mean, PJ talked about wanting more turnovers, but obviously everybody wants that. Today you were able to get those takeaways. What did you feel like was instrumental in being able to get over the hump and get them today?
Can you repeat that?
Just about getting over the hump and being able to force turnovers today like you were.
Well, every week we emphasize turnovers, and today we had 3, I think. So that's the amount we should get every week, or we strive to get every week. So I feel like we just executed the game plan good enough this week, and turnovers came to us. So yeah.
Daniel, obviously the first game without Crab. How did you feel like you and the rest of the receivers were able to step up collectively?
We had Crab with us the whole time. I mean, he's in all of our hearts. But, the goal is to be consistent and execute the game plan. So I feel like we did that pretty well.
Tanner, you got a couple of third down conversions with your feet. You've been doing a lot better on that this year. What have you improved, I guess?
Do I look faster? I don't know. I mean, our strength and conditioning staff is awesome, but I think too, when playing the quarterback position, it's all about, advancing the sticks, getting us in great situations, keeping us on the field, moving the ball, and, knowing when the progression's maybe not doesn't look great, and hey, let's find a running lane and take off. And so, you don't want to be a guy that takes off right away always, but when the opportunity presents itself, it's a great opportunity to go out there and do it. And I love it because it's fun. It's football, and I get an opportunity to show my guys that I'm going to, lay my body out on the line to get a first down and whatever it takes, just like they do every single play. So, but again, it's not like, I'm taking the snap, looking to take off, but when the opportunity presents itself, you got to make it happen and keep the sticks moving.
Tanner, sorry if you were already asked this, but when you have the play call and you look at the sideline and get it confirmed or you're changing, how comfortable were you when you were reading the defense as you were getting into the play or changing the play? How comfortable was it? Because it looked kind of easy. How comfortable with the game plan and the way that you applied it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it comes down to trusting your training and understanding, when a play checks, why it's checking. And, that's kind of being in Coach Siraka's brain and him that's like us communicating non-verbally on the field is, when plays are changed, I understand why he's changing it. So it feels really good. But, again, it's all about trusting the training and understanding, every play is not going to be the perfect look for it, and then how to operate from that. That's just how you got to move. And they did a great job of mixing up some looks on us. And every play we didn't get a great coverage, whatever we were looking for, but we just had to execute and live to see another down.
Hey, Tanner, entering this game, Michigan State's defense had yet to pick off a pass, and you went through it today. Clean slate, only had 3 incompletions. So, from what you'd seen on film with them through 3 games, how confident were you that you'd be able to have success passing the ball today?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's always about executing the game plan. It sounds like a, old record, but we knew we would have opportunities in the run game and in the pass game, and we had guys that were able to go out there and win their one-on-one matchups, and we were able to, find advantageous calls, and they did a great job. They played really hard. They brought some pressure, mixed things up on us, but our guys went out there and made plays, and that's what it's all about.
Mariano, a lot have been made about your early schedule. People wanted to see if you could beat somebody. You feel like you beat somebody today? What statement did that make?
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter to the opponent. Each week we're going out there with, our game plan and our execution in mind and focusing on us. So, like I said, it didn't matter if it was Michigan State, Colorado, whoever we play. We have to go out there and execute the game plan to the best of our ability, and I think we did exactly that. I talked to you guys last week about getting more takeaways on the defensive side of the ball, and we did exactly that. We emphasized that throughout the week at practice, and then it shows up on Saturdays. We also talked about limiting explosive plays because this was an operation on their end that liked to get big chunk plays downfield, which led to points, and we knew we were going to have to stop them by making them drive the length of the field, and we did exactly that. Take 2 more for our student athletes. Andy, go ahead.
PJ has talked a few times about Jerry Rice clip about mastering and kind of always improving. What have you guys taken away from that? Maybe Mariano and anyone else that has something to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, that's just our mentality culturally. There's always something to get better at. We're going to throw this film on, and there's going to be 1,000 points that our coaches give us that we could have done better in that football game. The Jerry Rice clip just hits home because, as a football player, you never fully feel like you reach your potential. And that's what makes, teams elite, is because they're always striving to change their best on a daily basis.
You guys were not this close to the locker room at Huntington, but we heard a lot of shouts, a lot of excitement. What were some of the things that stood out in the celebration in the locker room postgame?
We got to celebrate Mo. That was pretty cool. Celebrating him becoming all-time touchdown rushing leader in Gopher history. That's pretty cool. That's pretty special. And Mo, knowing Mo, it wasn't an individual thing. He shared that with us, but you could see everybody was excited for him. And so, that's a moment, he's going to downplay it, but that's history. I mean, DT was all-time Gopher great, and Mo ran one more touchdown than he did in his career, and that's pretty cool. I mean, that's something that doesn't just go by easily. And then, just celebrating the hard work that our teams put in together. And that's where we celebrate in the locker room. And then we're going to get back tomorrow. We're going to watch the film, and it's going to be a lot of ways that we can learn and improve and grow.